One NFL free agent remains available on the market, and the question is, why hasn't this guy been signed? He has been previously linked to the Philadelphia Eagles, but does it make sense to take a flyer on him at this point? We'll talk about that and a whole bunch more, but welcome into A to Z Philly. I'm RB. Do us a favor, hit the like button if you enjoy these videos, and be sure to subscribe so you don't miss any of the upcoming coverage. A lot to talk about as we head into next month with training camp. Right now, a bit slow, but still the rumors are buzzing. And I want to go over and react to an article today on Fan Nation Sports Illustrated that poses a potential signing by the Philadelphia Eagles with a guy who has been linked before. Who remembers Justin Simmons? Who remembers this guy? Go back last season, even near the deadline, right? Justin Simmons, Justin Simmons, Justin Simmons. Everybody wanted the Eagles to trade for this guy. They did not end up making a trade. He did not end up getting moved at all. And then later on in the season, the Broncos started to turn it around after that tumultuous start. Still didn't end up with anything at the end of the season. And then they cut him back in May to save $14.5 million. He's been with the Broncos his whole career. He's created a very, very good, reputation for himself. Very good player, but sometimes business is business, and they decided to cut the guy who is 31 years old. He's been a two-time Pro Bowler. He's been a four-time second-team All-Pro safety. So why is this guy still out there? Well, let's go ahead and talk about it. The market, right? Saturated right now. There's a lot of guys who have been moving around different pieces, and when you look at a 31-year-old, even though he still can probably play at the top of his game, let's kind of translate it to another guy, Hassan Reddick, right? Who is, been one of the best at his position over the last 3 to 4 years. But once you hit that certain age, teams don't really want to bite. They don't want to give you a long-term deal. So I think there's just a misalignment right now in terms of what Justin Simmons views his talent and potential as for the next several years. Whereas a team might be looking at him going, we just don't want to pay that. We can pick up a late round pick and try to develop a guy rather than taking the risk on paying you X amount of dollars for the next 3 years, and maybe you get injured, right? Like you have in the past, or maybe your game just starts to die off a bit. So that's kind of where I think it's at. It is surprising that he is still available, but let's go ahead and read this article. Philly still has the money to spend to make a major move in the near future. Eagles could sign a star in free agency to bolster improved defense. So he says that the Eagles have certainly added some help at cornerback and also have taken a look at the safety position, right? They go out, they make some pretty good moves this offseason. You have a new system, new coordinator in Vic Fangio. We'll talk about that more in a second. But it says, while this is the case, some have speculated that the Eagles could still use another boost at the safety position. You have Reed Blankenship almost on like a prove-it type deal. You bring back C.J. Gardner-Johnson. What if you brought in Justin Simmons? It's uncertain if the Eagles want to make another move, but they have money to spend and were mentioned as an option for star safety Justin Simmons in free agency by NFL Trade Rumors Logan Ulrich. The connection between Simmons and Eagles, Vic Fangio, cannot be ignored. Fangio has called Simmons one of his favorite players that he has ever coached. The Eagles don't currently have a safety with a resume quite as strong as Simmons. Let's go ahead and look at his stats real quick. So Justin Simmons been in the league since 2016, and this guy's put up numbers every single year. Look at the interceptions: 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 6, 3. And this past year, he played 15 games, obviously on a team that really had a low morale. Like they didn't have any confidence, midway into the season, and he still finished strong. So, pretty good all-around safety, pretty good tackler, has come up, can play in the box a lot, and just really a guy who can move around, a nice chess piece. And the fact that Vic Fangio was the head coach for 3 years in Denver and got to coach this guy, knows his tendencies, right? Knows him as a player, knows him as a person, and called him one of his favorite players that he has coached. I think it does make an interesting connection, if I'm being honest. And I think what it comes down to ultimately is the money, right? Is Justin Simmons going to essentially take a step back and say, the market's not there, right? It almost reminds me a bit of C.J. Gardner-Johnson last year, where the interest just wasn't there. He banked on himself. Obviously, in this case, Justin Simmons was cut by the Broncos, but he's out there testing free agency, and nobody is giving him what he wants. So does it get to a point where he just goes, yeah, I might have to take a one-year deal, not really like a prove-it deal, but more of a reset, right? And I go out, have a really strong year, say come into a situation like Philadelphia, we do really well, we win a lot of games, We play well. I get more money because of it. And next offseason, he goes out and tries to get a longer deal. Again, he's 31 years old. If he gets a big injury, then it's not looking really promising. But on his last deal, he had a 4-year, $61 million contract. He probably wants a pay raise based on how he's playing, based on some of these other deals, right? You have safeties making as high as $18, $19 million per year. He's looking at his numbers going, man, all I've done is be productive. And again, we're seeing the similar situation with guys like Hassan Reddick, who, right now is holding out because he wants a pay raise. So unfortunately, it's just how the position is kind of playing out right now in the NFL. But when it comes to Justin Simmons, I would certainly take a flyer on a 1-year deal. There's no doubt about it. Would I pay above $12 to $14 million? Probably not. Howie Roseman would have some big work to do there. But if he can find a way to bring Justin Simmons in, imagine that, right? Or even if a guy goes down, you have another strong piece that you can move around, use in different situations, and could bolster this defense. Because although they added a lot of talent, there still is a lot of uncertainty. We have to see how it meshes. It says, quote, that said, they do have a crowded secondary currently with Reed Blankenship, C.J. Gardner-Johnson, and 2023 second-round pick Sidney Brown at safety, plus potentially second-round DB Cooper DeJean. Barring an injury or one of these players falling flat on their face, the fit in Philly for Simmons is tough to project. This is not the first time Simmons has been mentioned as an option for the Philadelphia Eagles and likely won't be the last. Until he signs elsewhere, he will be viewed as a great fit for the Eagles. Philly has money to spend and should consider all options at this point in the offseason. That's where I'm at. Is this a must-have? Is this we need to get this done now? No. But at the end of the day, if he's still available in a month and a half, and nobody wants to take a flyer and they don't want to pay him, and somehow Howie can work the magic and Vic Fangio can talk him into it and, praise Justin Simmons, play him up a bit, and thinks he can still be productive at this age, with this Philadelphia Eagles core on defense, I have no problem bringing him in and seeing what he can do. So that's where I'm at. We'll see what happens, but do you want Justin Simmons on the Philadelphia Eagles? Give me your thoughts. Also, real quick, let's go ahead and give a shout out to our sponsor of today's video. It is the great BetMGM. Enjoy all your favorite sports like never before at BetMGM. Sign up using our code ATOZPA and get up to $1,000 back in bonus bets if you do not win your first bet. When you register with BetMGM, you'll get instant access to parlays, live bets, player props, and daily boosted odds specials. And with BetMGM at your fingertips, every play and every game matter more than ever. So go ahead and find out why BetMGM is the king of sportsbooks. Sign up today with the bonus code ATOZPA and get up to $1,000 back in bonus bets if you do not win your first bet. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions.